What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. You see our guest mascot in the background there, Baby Snowy. Baby Snowy! Yeah, we'll see how long he'll be joining us here. We got a really good video here today as multiple states are working on or even passing new stimulus checks. That's right. And we have brand new breaking new news on multiples, on multiple new news on that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This could be bad. We're gonna see if he knocks it over here. But yeah, we have actually a major state has just passed a new stimulus check and a tax rebate, and it's a big state. And we actually got to several updates on several different states here. We're gonna jump right in. As you guys know, literally on a daily basis, I'm doing research for you guys here. Everything, just to try to keep you guys updated here on the federal level, on the state level, everything. And the first state we're gonna, like I said, I got updates for you here on a lot of different things, stimulus checks. Anybody who says stimulus checks are dead just really isn't up to date on current news, and that's why I like to show you this. In fact, I'm going to have video updates from several news stations here, so you guys can literally just hear it directly from news stations. And I'm gonna read to you guys directly from some news stations. Just kind of depends on what I drum up, when I'm doing my. Sometimes I come across news clips. Sometimes I'm allowed to show them. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I don't really even know until afterwards. Sometimes I kind of get copyright. Sometimes they ask me to take them down because sometimes they let me show their news clips. Sometimes they don't. I don't know. It's just kind of there's no rhyme or reason to it. So sometimes I just read you the news websites, and sometimes I'll show you the news websites. Maybe it was a bad idea to show Snowy back there because who knows? Maybe he's gonna start biting biting my internet cords, and this video is gonna cut out. Who knows here? But yeah, let's jump right in to the first major state who has just. Let's just jump right in and I'll show you. Here is a quick rundown of the details, and then I'll give you a little bit more details here on the amounts of there's several different types of checks in here.
This budget will provide over $1.8 billion, $1.8 billion in tax relief to Illinois residents, while at the same time restoring $1 billion to our state's long-depleted rainy day fund, decreasing our net pension liability by more than $1 billion, and continuing to pay down short-term debts and unpaid bills. Illinoisans will benefit from $1 billion in tax relief at the pump, in the supermarket checkout, and in their property tax bills. On top of that, we are expanding the Earned Income Credit, sending direct checks to working families, and providing back-to-school tax relief for families and teachers.
Yeah, major state here, the state of Illinois. Taxpayers to receive direct payments, aka stimulus checks, and grocery sales tax to be suspended as part of the Illinois budget deal. It also says here in the lower subtext, the gas tax will also be frozen through the start of 2023 under the agreement. That's also a major deal because some states are only pausing their gas tax. This is part of a multi-tier stimulus agreement or part of their annual budget deal. Major thing. As I said, I got multiple states I'm going to do here in this video. This is, for the state of Illinois here. You can see it's directly from NBC Chicago here. This is a really pretty good one for a state level here. As I said, there's multiple different tiers to this. Here, check this out. Democratic lawmakers in Springfield have announced an agreement on a new budget with more than $1.8 billion in tax relief coming for Illinois taxpayers, including direct checks, which are stimulus checks, a suspension of grocery taxes, which means you'll save money every time you go grocery shopping, and a freeze on the state fuel taxes. You'll save money every time you go to um, fill up your gas. And there's money for property owners here as well. According to Governor J.B. Pritzker and Democratic leadership in the Illinois legislature, the new budget will once again be balanced, with $1 billion being earmarked for the state's rainy day fund and $1.8 billion in tax relief being earmarked for taxpayers. Quote, I want to thank Senate President, the state Senate President, that is, Don Harmon, and House Speaker Chris Welsh for being true partners in hammering out a responsible, compassionate budget. Over the last few weeks, we've been engaged and compromising, et cetera, et cetera. According to lawmakers, the state's 1% sales tax on groceries will be suspended for the entirety of the new fiscal year, which officials say will save taxpayers up to $400 million through July 2023. So you'll save a little bit of money every time you go grocery shopping. It's not something that you really realize, but it is money you save every time you go grocery shopping. The state's fuel tax, which was slated to be increased in July due to inflation, will be frozen at 39 cents a gallon through January 2023, with its taxpayer savings of 70 million as well. So again, you'll save a little bit of money as well every time you go to fill up your gas. Now we start to get to see even better stuff. Property tax rebates, which is basically a check, a stimulus check, whatever you want to call it here, of up to $300 per household, will also be included in the budget, along with an expansion of the earned income tax credit in the state, according to the governor. And if you've been watching my channel, you know that the earned income tax credit is basically for low and middle low income people. Okay. So, first one here, property tax rebates, which is basically a check of people who own homes. You don't have to even own the home. You just have to, I mean, you don't have to own it outright. You could, have a loan. You could, be making payments on your home. And, the bank owns your home. Just, yeah, I don't want to have to say that you have to own it in full, right? You could, be the owner of the home, but the bank owns it. Just so I'm kind of making that clear, right? Property tax rebates of up to $300 per household. So you can get a $300 check if you're the owner of the home. So that's a $300 stimulus check right there. Okay. And low, middle, low income people from Illinois also, you're going to need to file a state tax return probably for that one, can also get extra money from the state. It doesn't say how much, but it's probably anywhere from like an extra couple $100 or something along that as well. So that could be extra money there as well, as long as you file a state tax return, probably, just because I know a lot about this kind of stuff here. So there could be an extra couple $100 or something along those lines in there as well. Okay. Also, finally, families will receive direct checks in addition to those other checks from the state pending approval of the budget. Each individual will be eligible for additional checks of up to $50 per individual, with households also receiving $100 per child. So two adults would receive $50 each, so that's an additional $100, with households also receiving an additional $100 per child. Per child. Income limits up to $200,000. Democrats praise the budgets, et cetera, et cetera. So you kind of add all this stuff up, it really does kind of add up to a lot here. Okay, next up is the state of Virginia, also considering stimulus checks. And remember that there could be multiple tiers of stimulus checks potentially when all is said and done, just like Illinois had in their package that was just kind of announced here. Here's what Virginia has to say. Check this out.
Well, what's better, 26 cents off per gallon of gas that you get, or a $50 or $100 check sent to you right in the mail? That's the debate here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And as we check the gas prices here, you can see they're still pretty high, and people want action now.
It's pretty bad, man. I have to pay almost $5 for gas every day. You know, I live like 40 minutes away.
Driver Prashant Pradhan a bit fed up with how much he's shelling out for gas.
I have a pretty small car. It costs almost like $50 these days. And, you know, it's rough because I got to pay for other stuff, you know, like rent, electricity, Wi-Fi, all that stuff, you know.
Oh, yes, we know. In Virginia now, though, a new Democratic proposal would send a $50 or $100 check to registered car owners, depending on how many cars a household has.
I think I'll state the obvious. Virginians are hurting, and they've been hurting.
We Zoom today with Virginia Democratic House Minority Leader Eileen Fillercorn. She says Governor Youngkin's plan to cut the 26-cent gas tax isn't adding up to a direct win for residents of the Commonwealth.
You know, the governor's plan, the majority of the money from the governor's plan would go to out-of-state drivers. It would go to oil companies, Adam. We want to help Virginians. We want to help them as soon as possible.
Macaulay Porter, Governor Youngkin's press secretary, tweeted this out about the Democratic plan. Dems are finally realizing the impact rising costs are having on Virginians, but their new brainchild does nothing to lower gas prices. If VA Dems were serious about helping Virginians, they'd suspend the gas tax and deliver the billions in tax relief VA veterans, workers, and families deserve. Lawmakers are set to debate both potential plans, either cutting the gas tax or sending checks in the mail, on April 19th. Some sort of action is expected pretty soon after. Back to Prashant. What does he want?
Oh, I'd take the check in the mail any day.
Really? Over the gas price?
Yeah.
Because that's just money in it?
Just refund me for the gas, you know? I shouldn't be paying these ridiculous prices.
FYI, as of right now, Maryland has not voted to extend its gas tax suspension, which is set to end this Saturday.
Next up, the state of West Virginia. Check this one out.
For weeks, Democrats have been calling on Governor Justice to suspend the state's 37.5-cent gas tax for a month. The governor has resisted, saying he does not have sole authority to do that and that it could put state road construction bonds in jeopardy. Well, now a Republican leader has a different idea. He believes it would be better just to send all car owners a tax rebate check. So what we have here is a battle between rebate checks versus a gas tax holiday.
We can do this. So the road bond isn't an issue. We can have it both ways. We can eliminate the tax for 1 month and bring $50 to $60 of relief to West Virginians on average, and take care of our roads.
I think the simpler you keep the process, the easier the process would be to be able to get other legislators on board. So yes, I believe that we would just do flat fees if we did a flat fee of $100, rebate checks.
Despite their differences on the approach to the gas tax relief, both lawmakers agreed on one key point today. They do want Governor Justice to add gas taxes to the agenda on a special legislative session he has already called for April 24th through 26th to deal with some other issues.
The state of Delaware has a rebate bill fast-tracked out of their House of Representatives. And Delaware lawmakers are fast-tracking a bill that sends some of their state's record-setting surplus by mailing a $300 check to every Delawarean. I think I'm saying that right, as the proposal cleared their House of Representatives on Thursday. House Bill 390, known as 2022, that's an interesting, known as 2022, oh, sorry, 2022 Delaware Relief Rebate Program, also known as a stimulus check, was heard in the House Administration Committee the previous day, quickly released after a small revision that would expand the pool of residents eligible for a rebate. The vote in the House on Thursday was 35-3, with 3 representatives absent. So it looks like everybody voted yes except for the 3 that weren't there. Oh, sorry, 3 voted against it. So 3 weren't there, but 3 voted against it. Looks like 3 Republicans. The bill is going to be heard in the Senate, looks like on April 13th. So, yeah, I'll keep you up to date here as soon as I hear more news. It says, we have a surplus, and I think this is a good way to give back to the people of Delaware. Also, the state of Arkansas says that their surplus nears 500 million. That's not billions, but it's half a billion. Governor weighs on a possible relief for taxpayers. So this isn't nearly as much as other states. Remember, like California's 45 billion. But obviously, Arkansas is not as big of a state. But the governor says there could be relief for taxpayers coming. Governor Asa Hutchinson discussed the possibility of additional relief for taxpayers on Monday because of high gas prices and inflation as the state's surplus for the fiscal year approached, and said that the $456 million above the forecasts and the state's net revenue for the fiscal year now totals more than $5 billion. Yeah, so it does look like they have 5 billion. Yeah, so that is quite a lot. They said this is expected, and if the economy continues to grow at this pace, then we will need to consider alternatives to provide financial relief to the taxpayers who are struggling with record high gas prices and inflation, the governor said in a tweet on Monday. They have not yet elaborated on what the proposals would be, but they are considering this. In December, they signed into law the largest tax cut in the state's history and approved tax cuts by nearly 500 million once fully implemented into 2026. So they have implemented tax cuts for the state. Also, here is an update about the California state stimulus checks or gas rebate checks or gas debit cards, gas stimulus checks, whatever you want to call it. Here's an update on the California stimulus checks that could be or will be going out later this year, sometime this year. Check this out.
We are learning more about Governor Newsom's proposal to send debit cards to California car owners to give them relief from paying at the pump.
New documents from the state's Department of Finance provide a closer look into Governor Gavin Newsom's push to send hundreds of dollars in debit cards to California car owners. The budget bill documents shedding light on who will not qualify for the money, including drivers who did not register their vehicles in California by April 6th of this year, and those who owe any fees, penalties, or other requirements to the DMV. The governor is proposing transferring money from the general fund into a tax relief fund to send out the money. Doing this will require a 2/3 vote from the legislature. But the bill also has a few blanks, likely because they will be negotiation points with the legislature. Those blanks include total cost of the program, total payment amounts, and the cap on the value of vehicles eligible in the state. Critics have pointed out under the program as proposed by the governor, an individual who owns a luxury vehicle and an electric car would be eligible for the money. Another point of criticism, the bill would allow the money to be processed by the vendor of the governor's choice with a no-bid contract. Republicans say this is concerning.
And we've seen how that's worked. I mean, that's, led to government waste, these contracts that essentially have no oversight. That's a big red flag for me.
Newsom's proposal is one of several circulating through the state capitol to try to offset rising gas prices. Others include a suspension of the state's gas tax and direct checks to California taxpayers.
And don't worry, the federal government, aka Congress, and the president are also considering this on the national level, aka a fourth stimulus check. And more states are considering this here by the day. I will keep you up to date here as more and more states do this. But in case I didn't mention your state here today in this video, I'll keep you up to date with more states here literally by the day. But here's something that you can take to the bank here. Check this out in today's episode of You Can't Make This Stuff Up. Krispy Kreme Donuts wants to make your gas pain go away. In case you haven't got or your state hasn't announced a state stimulus check just yet, the beloved donut chain promises to tap into its strategic donut reserve. Yeah, I know. You can't make this stuff up. But here's what Krispy Kreme has announced. Check this out. Between Russia's war on Ukraine and regular inflation, the cost of gas is seeing some major volatility. While down from a nationwide high of 4.33 in mid-March, it's still here April 11th's price was 4.11 a gallon, nearly 30% higher from when it was last year. This is causing anxiety for a lot of people. Krispy Kreme just launched a promotion in which it'll match the cost of a box of donuts with the average cost of gas across the country. Each Wednesday between April 13th and May 4th, 2022, the beloved American donut chain will sell a box of 12 original glazed donuts for the national average of a gallon of regular gasoline. Normally, they cost around $7.99, $8 a dozen, depending on the location. Any fluctuation in gas and prices, say it's 5.76 a gallon in California, has some of the highest ones in the country. Quote, inflation and high gasoline prices are seriously forcing families to make tough trade-offs, Krispy Kreme says. We know that despite high gas prices, people have to be out and about anyways. For the length of the promotion, Krispy Kreme will post the price of a box of donuts on Facebook as well as on its website each morning. For the next several Wednesdays, we hope to provide a little donut deflation will allow them to share some smiles during a difficult time. So it looks like Krispy Kreme's going to be selling a dozen glazed donuts for the average cost of a gallon of gas, which is around $4.11 a gallon right now. And they'll post the price on their website or something like that. So if you're near a Krispy Kreme and you want to get it for basically half off, yeah, check it out. It's going to be going on here for the next couple weeks on Wednesdays. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below. I'll keep you up to date here with all the states that are announcing stimulus checks, the federal government announcements, as well as daily news, everything you guys need to know about here on a daily basis. Remember, New Mexico has also passed stimulus checks that can be worth up to $1,000 to $1,500 here as well, as I've announced in previous videos. So make sure to subscribe down below. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribing is completely free to do so. And after subscribing, click the bell icon that appears next to the subscribe button. You can click here to watch my newest video next, or you can click here to watch how low and middle low income can also get up to $6,900 from the IRS as well. If you haven't watched that video, watch that video as well next. So click on one of those videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.